Hi everyone, welcome to Mobil One Tech Talk. We're actually here at the workshop today and we thought we'd give you a bit of an insight into effectively what we call the driver's office. You know, they spend so much time in here. A lot of our effort goes into the ergonomics, making sure these guys are as comfortable as they can be. You know, they're in the car for quite a long time, so the more comfortable they are in the car, they can forget about that kind of stuff and just be focused on driving the car to their best of their ability. So starting here with the steering wheel, in-house design. We basically buy the steering wheel itself and then do our own controls and bits and pieces to it. So effectively that's everything that, that's the vision of the driver. All the key switches are on the steering wheel, and then behind there we have the console, which has the dash, which displays all the parameters that they need to see live from the vehicle, as well as the key switches that they're going to use during the race. Again, it's all designed so basically they don't really have to take their hands off the wheel much. It's basically right there where they need to use it. Clearly here in the middle, the gear stick, obviously they use that many times a lap, many times through a race. So again, that's sort of positioned so that it's just a quick shift with their hand to do the gear shift and back onto the steering wheel. Some of the controls they can do during the race, often you'll hear on the coverage the guys tuning the car during the race. So the anti-roll bars, front and rear, is a hard setting and a soft setting. So basically as they tune the car, get a feel for what the grip level's like, or the balance in the car, engineers and drivers will talk on the radio, tune that accordingly on the run. So that's on the fly. Then we have a brake bias adjustment. Again, many times during a lap they might be tuning that brake bias to get the absolute maximum performance out of the brakes, because every corner is different, so they basically can tune that on the run. Ergonomics and safety wise for the drivers, you can see here the cool suit box, a really key important aspect for the drivers to keep them cool. So it's now at the point where they'll use that throughout a weekend, because the fresher they can be from early in the weekend, particularly the hot events, they'll use that as much as they can. There's a little bit of a weight advantage or disadvantage, there in terms of running that in the car, but basically that just keeps the drivers nice and fresh. And then introduced by Supercars recently is the leg protection system. Clearly some big crashes in the past. Chaz Mostert probably the highlight there at Bathurst a few years ago. So they've introduced this leg protection system, again to try and contain the driver's legs during a big impact. Basically just holds them in place, and the drivers actually find it's quite comfortable to sit in. So the seat that I'm sitting in here is actually JC's. So again, it's not so quite comfortable for myself, but it's comfortable for JC, and that's what it's all about. We do the same for Scott, and then the co-drivers adapt to that accordingly, whether that be a little bit of a seat insert, or sometimes we'll just put a little bit of padding in their suit so that when they jump in the car there's no mucking around with the driver change. Again, that's tailored to suit their bodies, make them as comfortable as they can be. So what we'll do at the start of each year is we'll do a seat pour, where that moulds around the driver's shape in terms of the comfortable position they want to be in. They'll sit in here for quite some time as the foam goes off, and then we'll just adapt it accordingly, cut bits and pieces away, and then basically that sits inside the seat so that they're nice and comfortable throughout the race. Window net here, again, driver safety. So really, as I said, it's their office. We've got to make sure these guys are as comfortable as they can be for as long as we need them to be in a very hot environment. So the more we can stop them worrying about how comfortable they are and leg cramps and that kind of stuff, we try and get rid of all that so they focus on driving and get the maximum speed out of the car.